Welcome to the Respect for the Great podcast. I am your host, Johnny Reed, and today we have a wonderful episode scheduled. We are on our 50th episode, which is a super milestone. We're going to give a round of applause very early. Yes. Man, I'm super pumped. I'm super ecstatic, and I'm super blessed. Duke, shout out, loved one. K's in the building. What's up, loved one? Lizzie is in the building. What's up, loved one? Today I'm super pumped. Quay, what's up, sis? Uh, we reached 50 episodes, and I'm super pumped. I'm super ecstatic. There's so many things that's running through my mind at the very moment. I can't even express the enthusiasm that I do have at the very moment. We're gonna jump into it very early on. I know my thoughts are running everywhere. Let's go. Let's start this off with a fit check, right? Because this is what we do on our show. Every episode, we are getting to our fit checks. Respect the drip. This is what we're doing. So today, let's start off with the brim. Here we go. At the top, we have none other than the New York Mets legendary orange and blue snapback brim, super fire, super dope. On the side of it, as you can see, we can't go nowhere without the respectfully great emblem, the enamel pin, super legendary. That's where we are with that situation. Also, we come over here to the t-shirt. Actually, it's a button-up shirt. Let's take this off for a sec. We have an orange button-up shirt, super dope. It's outlined and stitched with some white stitching, super fire, super dope. Also, we got to come over here to the wristwear and the fingerwear. Here we go right here with our alien ring finger. As you can see, this right here makes me feel like I'm spaced out, alienated, also from another planet, another Earth. I love aliens. I love extraterrestrial things. And I think this right here is a symbol of that right here. Also, this was a gift that I love to wear. It's a reminder of, sometimes gifts, it don't have to be materialistic, although this one is materialistic, but it's mainly about the thought that counts. Right here, I got this Michael Kors. I received this about maybe, I don't know if you can see it, 7 years ago. I got this from Lizzie. Lizzie brought me this early on in our relationship about 7 years ago, and I still rock it with a lot of pride. I'm super into watches. I'm like a watch enthusiast at this very moment, and I'm really getting into it for a lot of different reasons. Let me know am I loud? How am I? How's the audio? It's good. Good money. Good money. I'm really getting into wristwear, a lot of accessories, wearing watches for me. I feel like I'm loud. Turn this down a little bit. Yo. All right, good to go. Good to go. I feel like the wristwear it signifies another aesthetic when it comes to your approach, when it comes to fashion, your fashion sense, and how you do your thing. So I think all of these things today represent really that bright light of enthusiasm as we approach our 50th episodes. I think the attire today speaks in high volumes when it comes to the look and the aesthetic of today, and what my fashion sense speaking, how it's speaking today. Um, great. That's how I'm feeling today. I want to know how you guys are feeling, as well as what is your attire? How are you feeling at this very moment? What do you got on? What is your drip? What is the fit check for you? Let me know in the comments, because I love to hear, I love to see, and I love to, pick your brain for some tips on what I could add to my wardrobe to make it that much greater and that much better. Um, Yes, that's that. Also, there's been a little change that I've done today. Because I'm learning as I go through the process. I actually had put the video today as unlisted, because I'm learning how to do these things as I go and I progress, so the algorithm can pick up and it goes to the right audience. We don't want to put some of these dope educational videos in front of someone that want to watch ping pong, right? Ideally, it doesn't make any sense. So when I'm learning about placement and how we got to list the videos and let the videos do what they do when it comes on the YouTube and these other platforms. Um, just learning as I go. And on the 50th episode, I'm willing to try something else that's new. And I think that's a great approach when it comes to how we see things. This has been a long journey. One that's been a really grateful one that's been a learning one that's had ups, its downs, etc. Only in 50 episodes, even though it's a lot, compared to not doing one at all. But then reaching the 50 and saying, you know what, I have came a ways. we have came a ways because we have done this thing together, and we have so much more to go. And I think that's the beauty of us having um this platform together, and how we can share our sentiments around what we prioritize when it comes to our lives, the essentials of our life, the things that we want to bring into our worlds, the things that we want to make a real reality. We have a comment from Lizzie. She says that a hoodie and PJs, and of course, tuned into Respectfully Great. Of course, tuned into Respectfully Great. Safe space, safe vibes. Absolutely. That is the vibe tonight. Safe space, safe vibes. She's very, very comfy. Got the PJs on with the hoodie. That's that. I mean, it's appropriate for this time. Why wouldn't you be, right? Why wouldn't you be comfortable in the space that you occupy? I think that is the beauty. I think that is the beauty when we walk outside of our doors, making sure that we have the confidence to step into spaces with the ultimate amount of respect, love, and appreciation for who you are, and having people respond to you in the same manner. I think that is so much of a beautiful thing when it comes to humanity and us as peoples. We get a chance to learn so much from one another. We get a chance to express how we feel, and we get a chance to go out in the world and try new things, and and grow in ways that's unimaginable to ourselves. Although we shooting for the moon, we never know where we end up. And I think that is a gift that we all have when it comes to our makeup and our leverage and who we are and our desires and our wants and our needs. All of these things are encompassed in one thing, and that's just us being truly who we are. And I'm grateful to be able to experience this here today with us as a collective. I'm glad that you guys are here today with me doing the same thing. Ed said, "What's up, Ed? What's up, my brother?" Ed is in the building. I love you unconditionally, my brother. You already know what it is, man. We are pumped. We are rocking out. Today's just a beautiful day. It's a day that we can remember. Today's 50 episodes. How many times we can say that we reach the number 50? I know in our days, in our lives, in our world that we living in, we only going to reach that 50 age, that 50 thing one time. Every number that we come up against, we only reach it one time. A first can only happen one time, right? A second can only happen the second time. You can't experience the second time on the third try. Once you reach the second, it is over. So when you look at life as this thing, constantly moving forward as a continuum. Okay, what's up, loved one? Norm, what's up, loved one? These are the things that we love to share. In every moment, you can make a very special moment. So that's what I got out of approaching life from this perspective. A lot of times we miss out on the times that we do things and how much we come together and share these moments. And we say, you know what? I'll experience this again. You may not. It may not be the same room, may not be the same energy, may not be the same people. You may not be in the same space mentally. There's a lot of things that's going to change that would never be the same. So what I love to do is embrace those moments and treat each moment with the love and respect and the care and the nurture as it should be. My brother Kill says, much love, bro. Keep grinding and be great. Absolutely love one. You too, family. What's up, Lizzie? Talk to me. Oh man, thank you, man. I appreciate that, family. I appreciate that. Ed said he's proud of me, man. I love that. I'm pumped. I'm pumped, appreciative. That we all can be proud because there's a journey that we all have experienced, and we here today and being able to share our sentiments behind them. So this episode is really a celebration of us, not just me, not just you, us as a collective, the platform, the growth, the things that we have seen, the things that we have experienced. There's so many things that we all have gone through from the first episode to the 50th. And I know that we can share some of those sentiments tonight. I know we can get really in depth about some of the things that have changed, some of the things that remain the same, and some of these things that we have grown out of and grow into the new next thing, right? I think it's so much of a learning experience, one that we can cherish and say, you know what? I remember that time when we did this. Now we do that. I know what to disregard. I know what to keep with me. And I think that's the beauty and the balance that we have when we come to discretion and being able to make our own decisions, having high levels of agency, being prudence, being wise in our decision making. It's a combination of things that we can always add to who we are and building up our character in such ways that makes us beautiful inside and out. And these are the things that I want to constantly reinstill in each one of us. Make sure it's a reminder for me to make sure that when I step outside of these doors, I'm continuously going to be respected and continuously be great. And I want you to remind yourself of the same things. Continuously be respected in your path. Continuously be great in your path. Always excel. Even if you take steps back, those are the breeding grounds for learning and growth. So don't ever look at your circumstances, your situations, temporary things as a permanent situation. Don't have our minds stuck and cluttered and distracted with temporary things as if it's a permanent condition. Every situation that we may experience in life, we can treat it as a redundant thing, and we can repeat the process and not learn. They say Einstein says that part of insanity is doing the same thing expecting a different result. So what does that mean? That means that we doing the thing and not changing anything, expecting things to change in our lives. But if we continuously say, you know what, I'm going to learn and grow, and I'm going to make adjustments as I go, there's no way that we can't accomplish the things that we want to accomplish. My brother Kill says decision making is key because one slip up and can cost you everything. It's just something to think about. Absolutely. I'm glad you planted that seed with us. I'm grateful that you planted that seed with us. I'm appreciative that you planted that seed with us because we don't get the chance to hear that most often, right? Decision making, how much power is in the decision making. So a lot of times we don't instill power in one another. Me and Lizzie the other day, which is building, and we talking in depth about just thought processes, right? And when I was talking about my perspective on how I see life, right? And how I see my strengths, right? I was telling her that at one point in time in my life, I didn't see my strength to the capacity that I see it now. And I know I still can see more strength for me. I'm talking about not just physical, I'm talking about mental strength in the near future. But the reason why I was saying that in the past I didn't see myself having this immense amount of strength because I didn't believe that had the power in my decision. I didn't have the power in my decision making. Same thing my brother Kill said. That same exact thing right there. I didn't see my power in my own decision making because all of my decisions I was looking outside of me. I was looking for other people to make these decisions for me. I was calling to a higher power to make every decision in my life, and I was missing out on the responsibilities that I had. And then once I started to understand and started to get the wisdom and hear these shared knowledges from different people, different wise air like you all and my brothers and my sisters, when I hear things like this, it started to click something in my psyche to say, you know what? How about you make that decision? How about you, no matter the outcome, yay and nay, how about you make that decision right there? And whatever the outcome is, you'll be able to handle it because you made it. So you can't create nothing that you can't get rid of either. You know, you can't be able to put these energies out there that you can't actually repel and pass back off. It's always a flow to and from. It's a constant. So it's always interchangeable. We can always have energy going to and from. So the energy that we put out, we can actually pull that back into us as well. When we say, you know what, I don't like what I put out there. I have always opportunity to change that. I say, you know what? Let me recant that. Let me put this other great energy back out there and let's do the thing over again with the more positivity behind it, more strength behind it, with more conviction in my decision making to say, you know what, I could do that. So we need to hear that we can more often than we cannot. And I think that when it comes to who we are in humanity today, as us as people, a lot of times the strength gets driven away from us because we keep looking outside of self to change our lives, not knowing that we have all of the power to do so. And it comes with a mindset. It comes with a willingness to want to go out there and change. A lot of times we don't get a chance to have that room for error, or we think we don't have that room for error because we're looking at everything as a mistake. We're looking at everything as, oh, I got to tiptoe around this, I got to tiptoe around that, not understanding that there are going to be mistakes made. But it's all about how you respond to it. It's all about how you get up from the mistake. It's all about how you make the adjustments along the way. Because nobody in this world, I don't like saying this word either. I don't like saying perfect because I believe that we all have the potential to be perfect. And I know the sense of people saying nobody's perfect, everybody got flaws, and this, I get that. But how I look at this thing from my own perspective, I look at my imperfections as a way to get perfect. So even if my conditions, even if my circumstance, even if I made the wrong thing right in the moment, I still look at that wrong as a perfect condition for me to get right, to make the next perfect decision afterwards. So there's nothing in the world that I'm not trying to hold on to anything as a hindrance. And I think that's one of the things that held me back. I was watching something with Godfrey earlier on this podcast, and he was talking about the strength and the power that he had within a telephone, of how he could connect with the audience. He said during C time, right? The C19 time, whatever, right? Because they like to censor these videos and they get crazy with this stuff, right? But during that time, everybody was in the home, and he said, you know what? Him being the comedian, never having the roles that he desired to have, going to auditions, they saying they don't like him, etc. He said, you know what? Let's start doing this thing on my own. Let's start making my skits on my own. Let's get on this telephone and start putting out the energy, my creativity every day. And he said, you know what's crazy is that once he started to do this, he started to feel that strength within himself and knowing that, you know what, I have a voice that's stronger than what the people at the audition saying that I have, because they saying, yeah, no, on my career. Meanwhile, I'm the one that got sole control over it, depending on where my mindset is at and what I want to do. So when he said that, I'm listening, and he was telling his fellow comedians that's on his podcast with him as guests, and he was saying like, yo, you guys could do the same thing. And he was saying that deliberately to them because he know that some of his colleagues and friends, they don't take advantage of being able to go on the media and being able to spread their message as comedians and doing the work themselves. And I think the guy, I forgot his name, something Tony, Guy Tony, something like that, something Tony, but he was an actor in Life with Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence. He was in it and he was saying, you know what, that's one of my things. I'm a perfectionist. And he said, you gotta get out of the perfectionist thing. And he's listening. He said, I know. He said, no, you don't understand. You have to get out of it. The reason being is because the conditions are already set for you. You don't have to wait till everything in your mind considered to be perfect. He said there's somebody across the world that is nowhere near as good as you, but you know what separates them from you? They putting out their work. So they can literally go in there and say, Google Gaga, send that out 7 times. And you while you send back debating on whether this is the perfect this or the perfect that or the perfect this, not knowing that your work is already perfect, put it out there into the world. And then at that point, you'll be able to put yourself in a space to be more than competitive with the other people in your own right, to where you get those same opportunities. We sit back and we say, well, why is he, she, them, or they winning and I'm not? Simply because the other individuals are willing to put themselves out there, and they're actionary people. They're willing to apply what they know, putting their skill sets to the test, putting their mind to the test, putting their energy, putting their leverage to use, doing everything that they can to spread the message for the betterment of who they are and their purpose. And I think that was so powerful when he was explaining to him, to his friends, etc. Even though he said the message to him, he was talking to the world, and he was talking to me as well. He was talking to me saying, you know what, don't worry about things being the way you ideally want them to be. And I was in that category for a long time and still learning, right? Because there's certain things that I still contemplate and say, you know what, is this the right moment? Is this the right time? Should I do it now? Or let me wait a little bit for X, Y, and Z. The other day I challenged myself, and I don't want to share the news as of right now because I wanted to mature a little bit more. But I've done something that I thought was out of my league, because I've been putting these things off in my life because I said I have to wait for the perfect this, I had to wait for the perfect that. I was doing the same thing. And I was pretty proud of myself because I said, you know what? No longer am I hold myself back for the things that I see can be great in my life. And even if I missed the target, I shot for the moon. And then I know for the next go round, I do the same thing as well. And I continue to do that through every endeavor that I come up against. Yes, they're going to be critique, and the hardest critique that we're going to get is from ourselves. The hardest critique that we're going to get is from ourselves. No matter what the people out there are going to say, sometimes it may be people that you look up to. It may be friends, it may be peers, it may be family members, maybe co-workers, maybe business partners. Everybody may look at you with some level of um bias, or they may look at you with some level of, what's the other word? Not bias, with what's the other word I'm looking for? When you just when people just judge you. Some people just being judged. I said this last time too, and I couldn't get the word out because I remember the same thing when I got off the live, and I'm like, that's the word I was looking for. Something to describe another personnel, and not being biased. Just another word, some with a P. I don't like it when I do that. Starts with a P. When you stereotyping somebody else, they stereotype similar to that. Starts with a P though, I think. That's what I was thinking about last time. But stereotype. People who have their own, people looking at you with different stereotypes, right? We all have different stereotypes, and people could be pretty biased in these things for whatever reason. But a lot of times people put their belief systems on you, and you don't have to You don't have to adopt their philosophies behind it, right? If somebody say that you can or can't, that shouldn't be the deciding factor or whether you can or you can't. That should come from you. That should come from within on your abilities and say, you know what, I got the confidence in me to go out there and excel. I got the confidence to get up every morning and go to the gym. I got the confidence to go out there and say, you know what, I'm apply myself in areas where most people may think I'm not qualified. 100 Wave King, what's up, love one, baby bro in the building. What's good, Brody? Some people may think that you're not qualified, and people may say, "Oh, he's not this or she's not that." Who can tell you what you can and you can do? This 50th episode is about that. How much we have learned, how much we have changed, how much of us has stayed the same, how much of these things that we brought into our worlds that we have different perspectives on. And now we could come to the drawing board and say, you know what, this is what I learned here together on our 50th episode. This is what I came up against. This is what I've seen. This is what changed. How did I? The thing is, the question is not how much I changed. The question is, how much have you grown for you to be here on our 50? Ant, what's up, loved one? My brother Ant is in the building. How much have you grown from the beginning that we started here together on the first episode? Now we on 50. What things changed in your life? How do you look at life? How was your perspectives? How do you feel about things? What stayed the same? What challenges have you came up against? What things that you overcome? The Wave King said, let's go, champ. 50th episode. Absolutely. Let's go, champ. Let's go, champ. Absolutely, man. It's a beautiful thing. This is a testament to how we can be consistent in our own lives. This is a testament for us together because we can do a thing. This is if you haven't believed that you're able to do something, you checked in on the 50th. So you witnessed this, you was here, you have done the work already. So you was able to do something 50 times consecutively. So the same mindset that you can apply into your world for the things that you want to get yourself involved in. So you know it's possible because we here. So 50 is just the number that we all can reach. The way King says, give yourself a clap one time, big bro. Absolutely. Here come the clap, love one. Aye. Big fit. Big Fendi. Absolutely. We on a 50. Absolutely, bro. That you know, it's the beauty that I see within us because I know there's so many paths that we have walked where people told us that we wasn't qualified. And now I know I got told that a lot in a lot of areas. Oh, he's not this and he not that. And he had a and I always prove to myself again and again and again that I know I'm worthy, that I know I'm qualified, I know I'm loved, I know I'm respected. I know I treat myself with this type of thing because if nobody else want to place that on me, I'm gonna place that on myself. And it's really about your perspectives and how you create that world around you. So when you create a loving environment, you're gonna feel love. When you create a trusted environment, you're gonna get trust. When you create a transparent environment, you're gonna get transparency. You get truth. You get discovery. You get awareness. We pick up our senses. This is how we learn and grow through things. So when you create that for oneself, you create that world behind it. You create that world behind it. Whatever you create up here, you create the experience in real time. And this is what I'm learning that I learned in my latter years. I was sitting there having a conversation with my nephew the other day, and we were just talking and just building, and I was just spreading some light on him in some of the areas where I was hard headed. Now I was really hard headed. I've done some things redundantly over and over and over again, and I had the hey, do this right here, and all this could go away. But the one thing I want to just constantly instill is, you know what? Hey, do things the right way the first time, and you don't have to come back and try to clean up the mess on the second round. So I always emphasize to him, don't skip the process. Whatever motion that you got to do. Hey, we just talking about traveling, going to and from work. And no, he's going to school, but me, I was going to work. But I was telling him when he go to school, something this simple: leave earlier. If you're on time, you late. Keep that philosophy. It took me years because I thought that I could be late, fashionably late to everything, and then I didn't know that people were judging. And I'm saying that I'm looking for other people approval, but there are other doors, other people that I want to network with. People want to say that I'm dependent. They want to see if I'm dependent. They want to see if I show up on time. And how do I get am I dependable? So when I show up by action, I come late every time. He's not the guy or she's not the woman. They're not qualified because this right here requires some level of responsibility. So I was proving not only to myself that I wasn't responsible, but to everybody else that I'm around that I wasn't responsible. I was putting that energy out there. So I told him, you know what, do the right thing the first time. So you don't have to double back and clean up the mess that costs you more time, more money, more energy. That's something that I learned the hard way. So I don't want them to go through those same, tracks, because a lot of times we can get misguided in that. There gonna be some people out there, no, cut the corner. I'm telling you, you gotta cut the corner. The only way to make this thing work is by cutting the corners. I hear you, but yes, you may get the temporary gain in the moment. Admiral Spence, 1990. What's up, love one? You may get away with it. Like my man T Rex says. He said, uh, he got away with it, but he ain't get away with it. Meaning that a lot of times when nobody's watching, you think that you can go unnoticed and you can slip through the cracks. Nobody's seen it. And then before you know it, the same thing bites you right in the butt. You like, why did I ooh, ah. It reminds me of Vampire in Brooklyn when a guy kicking the wall, like, ooh, ooh, ah. Anybody seen Vampire in Brooklyn? You can Google it or YouTube it and go to the scene where the guy's in the hallway and he's kicking the wall. Ooh, ah. That's what it reminds me of, right? And these are the things that I love to shed light on, because there's so many things that other people had told me along my journey, and I wish I had listened. But now I have the wherewithal to know that these things are important, because this is how we govern our life. This is how we have autonomy over ourselves. This is how we be self-governed. This is how we have that body politic. Go check that episode out too. Politic of self. This is how we have that body politic, to where you can go in the world and you operate from your perspective and do the things that you like to do, but make sure that there are rules and structures that you oblige by. Because if you don't have these structures set up, then that means anything goes. So that you have an open door policy for disrespect, open door policy for somebody to come and abuse you in any type of way, mentally, physically, spiritually. You can open up that portal for things negatively to affect you. But when you have those standards, you say, I would not tolerate this, or I won't tolerate that, or here's where I draw the line. It shows that you took the time out to respect oneself. And then now you can command and demand that from other people. And people that don't want to do that for you, you can find a way to leave them exactly where they are. And they can be there in sorrow, and be in a place where those people around can be, in that same space with the things that you don't want to be associated with. They can sit over there with that group or class of individuals, because you are a person that's going out there, that's working and growing continuously. And you recognizing where the flaw is at, and you recognizing that, you know what, I got to do better. So you just recognizing that and making those small adjustments make the biggest impact in your lives. I know this is something that I had to learn along my journey. It was the small changes that make the biggest impact. Making the bed every day, making the bed every day, having those codes that I have for myself every day that I wake up. I keep reiterating these things. I wake up in the morning. First thing I do is I pray. I get praised up, right? I connect with God, connect with me. I connect with that spirit. And after I connect with that spirit, then I'm going there. I'm going to do something physical. And I do something physical, and I'm going there. Then I'm picking a book up and I'm reading it. Good word, something to incite my psyche to make me go out there to want to be accomplished. So this is what I do. I make sure that I start my day off with the right things. I don't wake up on the wrong side of the bed. I don't have those instances where I wake up on the wrong side of the bed, because I have certain things that I would do every day to make sure that my day going good as a routine for self. This doesn't involve no other person. It involves me. So when people come and go, we can't blame why we feeling the way we feeling on other people. Or today such and such happened, or today that person didn't do this, or today that person didn't do that, or this person didn't respond. We don't have to worry about that. Once you start getting more connected with oneself, and you start having things that you can do every day that benefits you, and this will make you a stronger person and proponent for other people in your purpose. So now you have that much more strength in your purpose, in your conviction. That's how great you can be. But ultimately, you have to want to do that. You gotta want to do that. You gotta say, you know what? Hey, in order for me to have that strength to go and affect other people's lives, what do I have to do daily to make sure that's solidified? Who do I connect with? What do I do every day to make sure that I'm in a place to where I can offer that? Because uh, hurt people hurt people. So if you are hurt in that space, how you gonna go out there and help? Only thing you're gonna do is hurt. So you're gonna be able. You're going, if you're in a hurt space, and that negativity surrounding you. When you go out there and you try to preach your word, negativity gonna spew out. You're gonna give the wrong advice. You're gonna give the wrong guidance. So people that may look at you and say, you know what, that's one of my trusted advisors. That's one of my brothers or my sisters. When you go in that space and you have a bad day and something just negative surrounding you, when you go over there to the next group of individuals that's looking for the righteous and the right guidance from you, you won't even be able to offer that, because what's gonna come out the mouth and off the tongue is something negative, something that they're gonna take, and you know what? They may take it in high regard. They may trust you. They say, you know what? I may trust his or her guidance, and at that moment, you actually misguiding them. You misleading them down the path that they don't want to even go down, and you don't want them to go down either, but you so disturbed in your aura and so distracted that only thing you can offer is the wrong guidance, because you don't have a clear mind. So this is where distractions fall into place. Signal to noise. How much are we focused on the things that we need to do? How many times are we hitting the target? How many times are we directionally right? How many times are we going into spaces and the places where we are designing, and we're the ones that say, you know what, I'm the designer of this world that I'm living in. I choose to be happy today. I choose to be happy today. It's a choice of mine. So no matter what's going on else, whatever else going on in the world, I don't have to be indulged in it. I don't have to be emotionally attached to those things that don't put me in the place of my own growth and development. That's why, honestly, with me, if things, just being fully transparent, if certain things don't um add to the agenda in a positive way, I tend to not even want to really give it any attention. And there's no pun intended to environment, people, places, things. It's not that. I know how easily distracted that I can get. I was on there earlier looking on the phone for one thing, and I said, "Hey, what was I doing?" He said, "No, you was looking for X, Y, and Z," because I got distracted for 2 minutes. So these things that normally can be a tool can also be a weapon of mass destruction against self. It can be a weapon of mass destruction against self, because we can get caught up in a whirlwind of things that don't align with our spirit, that don't align with who we are, that don't align with our purpose. And this is what I've seen approaching our 50th episode. I've seen a plethora of great things. I've seen a plethora of things that stayed the same. I've seen a plethora of things that we grow to reach and say, you know, I'm proud to see that. I'm proud for us to be here. I'm proud that we've done something consecutively for a duration of time that solidifies us that it can be accomplished. And now we can see that from our perspectives in real time. Yeah, we heard the stories of people saying that these things can be done, but we experienced it together. And that's the power and the strength that we got, that we can carry over in every other field that we want to get ourselves involved in, because you are the creator and designer of the world that you live in. You are the creator and the designer of the world that you are living in. It's all shaped and molded by your perspective. We just don't have to let fear take over. Say that again one more time, Lizzie. We do not. Yes. So we can't let fear take over. A lot of times we approach things from a fearful perspective. You know, one thing I love from Myron Golden when he says this, he says that he never assigns a level of difficulty to things. And I think that's some of the things that draw on fear. We get fearful for things that we don't understand. So instead of going and approaching these things from a perspective of saying that I need to know all the ins and outs, I need to know what's going on. When you say, you know what, I don't assign a level of difficulty to when I come and I approach these things, then the sweat is off your back, the fear leaves. So now we are confident when we walk through these doors, because it's like, you know what, it is what it is. It's going to be. This is just the this is the cost of admission. For me to get through the door, this is the cost, and this is the price I have to pay. This is the price I have to pay. And the price is going to be some blood, sweat, tears, unknowing, which is beautiful, because these are the breeding grounds for growth. So the unknowing is a breeding ground for growth. So there are going to be some things that you experience that you never experienced before, but it's a perfect opportunity for you to grow. So what's more beautiful than the opportunity for you to grow? See, we keep looking at all of the things that we don't have, but don't understand that it's a price of admission that we have to pay. It's a price that we have to pay in order to get through that door. And it's mainly based off how you are learning, how you are growing, what application are you doing, what ways are you applying skill sets. It's all about us, how we able to put ourselves in the perspectives and saying, you know what, how do I look at this thing? Most times our minds are distorted with a bunch of fluff, a bunch of distractions. And then when people start to gravitate towards your mind and pull you in each direction, now You just a puppet on the string moving at everybody else's will, and you don't have no control over self. So the way we gain back that control over self is say, you know what? How about I start instilling some of these morals and these belief systems within me? How about I start operating from a principle mindset, understanding that the law and the law of the land, the world is full of principles. The world is full of principles. And when we start understanding and knowing these principles, the laws of nature, how do things move and operate within nature? There's a natural way of things, uh, 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 of occurrences. There are natural ways that there are occurrences out in the world. And if we don't understand how these things work, then I think we need to get more in tune with it, and we can start operating better from within, because we are people of the land. We are people that operate within this land. So if we destroy the land, we don't understand that we are destroying self. And we go and we destroy the land, we are actually destroying our own livelihood, because everything that we eat is grown naturally from the land. Yeah, you can go get the processed, but we know what happened to everybody that's continuously eating processed things, GMO things. We know the outcomes of those things, but we don't understand that it's we synchronize in the same way, right? We synchronize in the same way. How we treat the land is mainly how we treat ourselves. So treat our body as our temple. Treat our body as the land, so we don't respect that, so we don't disrespect ourselves. We don't disrespect the land. And then now we can get more connected to how things are naturally working in the world that we're living in. So when you understand things from a natural way, then now you can operate and you can see things. Yo, hold up, this doesn't make any sense. This go against the law of nature. This go against my moral beliefs. This goes against what I stand for and who I am as a man, as a woman. This goes against who I am. Then now you can you can navigate easier, because now you see things from afar, like, oh, that ain't right. Oh, hold up, that over there, that isn't right either. I know where I need to be at. Okay, sometimes it may take going around some of these things, because a lot of times they try to block up these roads, and it's mainly your mind. They try to block your mind and distract you with so many other things that lead you astray. But now it's our job to bring ourselves right back in and say, you know what, I can do this. Surround yourself around people, places, and things that will incite you to do great and wonderful things. Not distracting things, things that's more in alignment to who you are and what you want to put in experience in this world today. S- Talk to me. Yes. Say it again. Say it again one more time. What's up, Ty? I love you, Ty. Ty in the building. Change and growth will be uncomfortable because it is unknown. Change and growth will be uncomfortable because it is unknown. Man, we are so fearful of these things. We always talk, don't go in the dark. Don't go in the dark. And don't understand that at times we need to go in the dark to find out who we are. Sometimes it requires us to get into a place to where we really gotta, challenge ourselves. We really gotta go out and put ourselves to the test. I say this all the time about Laura Boyd. The mind and the brain doesn't strengthen without doing difficult tasks. The mind, the brain doesn't strengthen by not doing difficult tasks. So what does that equate to? That equates of you doing more difficult tasks. We do the same exact things all the time, and nothing changes. How ironic, because we're not doing anything to challenge ourselves. So a lot of times I like to get thrown in the water. Hey, put me in the water. See if you can swim. And sometimes I may have to rush and grab onto the side of the pool. And then a little bit, slowly but surely, I learned how to kick my feet. I learned how to swing my arms. And I learned how to doggy paddle and come up for a breath. Everything that we do may require that. The price of admission. That's the price of admission, not knowing. But that's where all your growth gonna come from. We fear that though. We told, hey, don't go in the dark. You gotta look perfect all the time. You can't make no mistakes. You gotta be flawless. And people don't understand that your imperfections is really your gift. Your insecurities is your gift. This is where your gift is at. Your gift is at. So I used to look at things one time, and fully transparent. One time, I was here on the live, right? What's up, Nisi? Nisi in the building. What's up, loved one? One time I was on the live, and there was a person, bot, whoever, stated something, and they tried to downplay my appearance. And I sat back and I thought there would have been a time where I wanted to say something back uh, out of anger, try to point out some things and flaws about the other person. I didn't know who it was because it was a bot. But I sat back and I thought to myself, I've seen this before. And the power is not within them. I'm the one that got the power to respond the way I would like to, not react. So he was looking for a reaction, is what I'm saying. And there are going to be things and people that want a reaction out of you. So they will toy with you. They will push your buttons to make you get out of character. But you don't understand that even you having that level of temperament, that's still your leverage if we be able to apply it right. So what I did was, hey, you know what? Let me approach this with a little bit different. Let's approach this with a little bit of intellect, not dumbing down myself and going to a place where I say I want to get physical or calling out their name or try to find out how their name was spelled in the chat. I said, you know what? Um, you have enough time to point out where you may call my flaws at, right? Where I'm faulty at, where I may not be the best at. I said, but since you have enough time to point out mine, right? Um, how does that reflect in changing in your life? My flaws, how does that affect you in in your life? Simply, I'm listening.
So I said self-reflection and self-awareness are probably one of the most difficult things we can do, but probably the most necessary thing we can do. Self-control is power.
Wow, I need to see that. I need to read that out verbatim. Self reflection. I'm gonna repeat you. Tell me.
Self-reflection and self-awareness
Self reflection and self awareness
are probably one of the most difficult things we can do,
are probably the most difficult things that we can do,
but probably the most necessary thing we can do.
but probably the most necessary things that we can do.
Self-control is power.
Self control is power. Damn, Ty, I love you for that. I love you unconditionally anyway. But that right there, you gave us something that we all can take with us. Self control, the power in self control. It's one of the most difficult things for us to gain control because we are taught to give our power to other people and other things, or we put power in other things. It could be materialistic, it could be another personnel, it could be a vice, it could be a bunch of things, it could be anything, right? Because who knows what things that we prioritize with in our own minds. And this is where um, things can be really, really conflicted because we say, you know what? When nobody's looking, this is what's near and dear to me because I feel strong. I feel at peace or at one with one, or I can live with oneself doing these type of things, having this type of thing, putting this type of energy out there, or having people look at me at this particular way. It, who knows, right? I know there's things that where for myself, reflecting on this moment where the control aspect, I felt like I had to appeal to everybody, right? I had to be the people pleaser. So that was one of my things where I loved people, but I did it to fault of self. And I didn't learn this until later on in my life that it's a wonderful thing to care about other people. But the first law of nature is self-preservation, preserve self. So have your mind, your thoughts, and your belief systems strong and rooted. So now when you're taking on other people's thoughts, perspectives, and things like that, you can evaluate it to see what applies to you and what doesn't. And for me, I was in a place to where I let everything apply to me, even things that was to my detriment. And this is where I fell short at. So when Ty talking about that control, that is so powerful. The most necessary thing is being able to regain control. And we can do these things by having the confidence and building that up every day, looking ourselves in the mirror and not running from it. Looking ourselves in the mirror and say, you know, okay, this is who you are. This is by design. You to come here by happenstance. I mean, even for us to come into the world, I can't even think about the hundreds of thousands of trillions of chances. I forgot what it was, right? I had it written down somewhere. Don't know where it's at. But for us to even come into this existence, right? The chances of us to experience this life the way we experiencing it, just coming into the world, the process of um creating a seed and bringing it to life in this form, the chances are like slim to none. And for us to be here in real time, that's special. So this doesn't happen by way of not um making it through the miracle way already. Somebody said this before, you got to put yourself in miracle territory. Us being here already, even though it's divine, it's a miracle in itself. So now when we look at our existence, when people tell you that you're not worthy of, you're like, you know what I made it through to get here? Hold on, let's backtrack that. You telling me that I'm not worthy of, but do you know what it took for me to get into this world today? So once we start understanding these things from that perspective, can nobody tell you about you? Can nobody diminish your value or how important you are? Because not only did we make it through that, we still important to other people in our lives as well. In their lives, we're important. We're important to ourselves. We're important to other people. We matter. We matter. And this is the things that we got to constantly reinforce because there are people, places, and things that want to strip us away from that and not allow us to have control over self. So a lot of times they want the cookie cutter mindset. They want the microwavable things. Everybody raising their hand at the same time to agree to things that they really at heart disagree with. I was one of those personnels at one point in time in my life because I didn't really understand my value of saying no. And then I didn't understand how strong my yeses became once I started to say no. And I'm like, ooh, the power of the tongue, Lizzie, the power of the tongue. So you speak these things from a conviction standpoint. I'm convinced. I know it's a difference between um trying to gain understanding and knowing. So we have to instill that knowing within ourselves. Know who you are. Take time to study yourself. Take time to sit with oneself. Evaluate you. Look yourself in the mirror, and go through it. Talk to me.
She said, understood. Me too, but I realized how much I took from myself loving others. The
Mm.
love we can give to others is much greater when we pour into ourselves first. We
Ooh.
are taught we are selfish when we put ourselves first. And that is
Mm.
a greatly misunderstood statement and taken.
Wow.
Absolutely. Never let them tear you down. Fixed versus growth mindset.
Wow, family. Oh my God. I need to say that again, Lizzie. I need to say that word from word. That is powerful.
She
Just
said,
walk me through it.
understood me too, but I realized how much I took from myself loving others.
Wow. She
The
realized I'm gonna follow you. She realized how much she took from herself from loving other people.
the love we can give to others is much greater when we pour into ourselves first.
The love that we can give to other people is much greater when we understand how much we can pour. I messed that up. Our love that we can give to other people is much greater when we understand pouring into ourselves first. That love becomes that much more immense, that much greater, that much um offering, that much more servitude.
Yeah.
Finding, talk to me, talk to me,
We
Lizzie.
are we are selfish when we put
Mm.
ourselves first. And that is a greatly misunderstood statement and taken.
We are taught we are selfish when we pour into ourselves. Take me from there, Lizzie. Yeah, because I want to mess it up. I try to freestyle it. It ain't gonna work. Can't
We
be.
are selfish when we put ourselves first.
We are taught we are selfish when we put ourselves first.
And that is greatly misunderstood
Mm.
statement.
That is a greatly misunderstood statement.
Statement and taken.
Oh my gosh. Round of applause. You know what? And we gotta do something for that. Never let nobody take you tear you down. Fixed versus the growth mindset.
She said, my bad for the typos. We understand here.
Yeah, no. We good. Nah. I'm trying to freestyle on top of it. So it ain't that. It's me chopping it up. I'm trying to make it that much greater. I can't do no better. It give me better said than what it was. And me just trying to add to it. I started chopping it up. But that right there is so powerful. I swear it is. That's the thing. We taught in our world that we living in that we are selfish when we look out for ourselves. And that is the most misguided thing that we can have. because we strip ourselves away from our greatness. We really strip ourselves away from our greatness when we telling ourselves that we shouldn't pour into self. And this is where we get misguided, because there are people out there that are placed around us, that are put here as plants to actually misguide you. So you can be, they say, dumb, deaf, and blind, right? So you can be, talk to me, Lizzie.
No, the crazy part is you hit it right on the spot because other people, once they start saying you're selfish, you're putting yourself first. And once you start putting yourself first, they now know they have no control over you.
Absolutely. Lizzie said that once you stop, once people know that you start putting yourself first, they know that they lose control over you. So when you start letting that be known that no, I do what I want in the confines of not hurting nobody else, but benefiting me and mine. When people start understanding that and they start seeing that, then they're like, oh, I can't take advantage of him or her. They was going for the okey doke before. They're not going for the okey doke anymore. And this is where most people take advantage of other people at, because they're submissive, they're docile, they don't understand their strength. So what they do is they prey on the weak. That's why you see a lot of predators take advantage of kids, because it's hard for them to defend themselves physically. And then the brainwashing comes in, right? That starts very early on. There's people like, well, why would you do that? Why would you be in that situation? Why would you succumb to those conditions? Not understanding that it's been programming for years and years and years. And then once somebody got your mind, they make the body do whatever. Once somebody got your mind, they can make you do whatever. And we've seen this even when it comes to human beings. We see this with animals. We see this when wild animals being domesticated, to where, of course, they still got that, that animal wildlife within them. But we've seen lions in zoos. We've seen elephants in zoos. We've seen tigers in zoos, or the circus for that matter. So you're like, wait, how's this wild animal here in the circus around people doing tricks and doing these other things? Because they already tapped into the mind of the animal. And the same thing goes for human beings. There are people out there every day preying on our intelligence and saying that, you know what, oh, I can take advantage of him or her. It could be financial ways. Okay, somebody got the money and they're providing and they're doing all these other things. Okay, this is a perfect opportunity to flex, my financial status and take advantage of somebody that may not be as financially astute as you. And then you have somebody else that's around where, okay, this person just doesn't know. I'm more educated in this person in that field, and that person takes advantage of the other person just simply not knowing. Or we see the other thing take place where somebody else is just physically bigger, stronger, and taking advantage of somebody else that's little, scrawny. Because we talk to me, Lizzie.
She said they fear that, so they put all type of labels on the people that
Mm.
they can't control to try to gain it back.
Ooh, they fear that. Ty said they fear that. So what they do is they put all types of labels on people. Ooh, labels on people. They put all types of labels on people. So they don't even gain that control over themselves. They identify you with being this particular type of person. Oh, this person right there, misogynistic. Or he takes advantage of women. Or this woman right there, or she is a HOE, and all she do is go on the streets and Or this person right there is a gold digger, and all she does is bop 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 bop. Or that person right there is bop bop bop. Whatever it may be, right? The thing is that people do that. They put labels on people. And then after that, you start going into the world operating from that perspective. And yeah, there may be things that are that happen or transpired, but then people may say, you know what, that's you forever. No, 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 no. There are things that I've done in my life that led me down a path to where I was behind the wall. But that was one point in time in my life, and I'm no longer there now, because there are things that have switched in my mind. There's a different process, not a fixed mindset, a growth mindset that's taking place, like Ty said. So I wasn't this cookie cutter person the rest of my years that I've been experiencing over the last past X amount of years. There's something that changed. It changed from a fixed mindset to a growth one. And I started to see my life change as well. That affected my decision making as well. That affected the autonomy that I have over self, because before I felt like I had no control because I didn't. I was listening to what everybody else had to say about me and I started to believe it. My environment changed. The people in those same in those places changed because since the environment changed, the people around changed as well. The things I prioritize changed. I no longer seek the validation from some of these places that wasn't validating me. All those spaces, those people, places, and things were looking to take advantage of me. And those are the ones and the people, places, and things placing those labels on me, like Ty was talking about. So now when you put these labels on you, walking around with this label as if you some grocery item. We walking around with labels on us like we a grocery item. And then for years on end, etc., we feel like, man, contemplated, like we feel like a rock in a hard place, and now we trying to contemplate whether this applies to me or it doesn't. And it could get very confusing depending on how much of our mind that somebody else has taken advantage of. D's in the building. What's up, D? Sis in the building. John Hoffa. What's up, loved one? The God is in the building. Kimanaki in the building. What's up, loved one? Yeah. So what do we do at this point? How do we regain that control over self? And I think that's really what the power is at. I think that's what this episode actually represents. It represents from the changes that we have seen, some of the things that remain the same, some of the things that we have learned, some of the things that we have grew into, then now growing out of. It's just a continuum of learning and growing, but it can happen, and that's the whole premise of us learning and growing together, of showing that these things are possible, because we all had stories of things that we may have experienced or seen or watched or heard that was, pretty much diminishing to who we are at core. Because we know at core, we know we are beautiful people. And we know that we offer the shirts off our back. But there will be people, places, and things that say that you have no value. That mindset of you wanting to help people, that's gonna get you nowhere. Oh, you have nothing to offer nobody. So now we going out our way to make sure that we approve that we can prove that to other people, places, and things that we are validated. So now we doing things that's uncanny, that's not like self, to make sure that we validated in other people's worlds. I experienced this in the workforce all the time. Meanwhile, I had the credentials. I did the schooling. I had this. Maybe it might be my skin color. Maybe my height. It may be just the people that I've experienced this. And I'm like, man, I'm a good person. Why do I feel that I'm at the bottom of the totem pole? And it was all perception, because I didn't put the value on myself. I kept telling myself, no, you need more years of practice. You need more years of expertise. You need more. And I said, well, at what time you're going to be solidified? Talk to me, Lizzie.
She said sometimes you have to leave places. Sometimes you have to leave places and things behind, not because you don't love them,
Mm,
but because you aren't going where you want to go.
mm.
Because they aren't going where you want to go.
Absolutely. Sometimes you have to leave places and people behind because they are not going where you are desired to go. So powerful. So powerful. How many times do we get told that? A lot of times people just say, stay, because you don't know what else is out there. That fear factor, like we was talking about earlier, when Ty was saying, no, it's fearful to go out there. Don't walk in the darkness. Don't take that leap of faith. Don't trust yourself, because how you trusting yourself, how far did that get you? Not knowing the whole time we've been operating from somebody else's mindset, because we wasn't thinking for self. We wasn't thinking from our power place. We wasn't thinking from a controlled place that we had, from an autonomous perspective. We was thinking from a manipulated mind from other people. So when other people say, don't go out there, don't do this, don't do that, bah, 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 that's the fear that they instilling in us, because they think that we're not doing it, but that's their fear. So now when we stop opening up the door to attach ourselves to other people's thoughts and minds and what they got going on, now we got the strength back within oneself. So now there's nothing that's off the table. I heard this from, I can't remember the girl name, but she said that if you never put it on the table, it's never an option. She said if you never put it on the table, it's never an option. So that means to me that everything that I want in my life is on the table. If I say I want $1 million, that's on the table. If I say I want a better, I want a better, I want to be a better parent, that's on the table. I want to say I have a better love life, that's on the table. I want to say I'm gonna be a better teacher, That's on the table. If I say I want to be a better student, that's on the table. If I say I want to go travel the world, that's on the table. If I say that I want to sit in my house, watch TV, Netflix, and chill, that's on the table as well. Because I don't want to said it, and I don't have to listen to what everybody else says. We start to understand that we offer, like Ty said, we offer the most to other people when we put that power back in self first. So now we can do things as a community, as a collective. We can do things from that perspective of building with one another, building those trusted advisors and building those environments, the world that we want to live in, with more people that look like you, that sound like you, that got the same morals, got the same belief systems, got the same trust. So now we okay, you know, my child can walk down the street, and I know that along their journey, we got 7 people outside their window making sure that my child make it home. We looking out for one another. Something's going on down the street or elsewhere, and something ain't supposed to be right. Now, okay, you know what? Hold up. Now bring the kid. Not the kids come. Everybody, no, everybody protected. The elderly over here. No, everybody's getting protected. Making sure that the coast is clear because we governing. What's the right word? We are protecting our environment, our families, our culture, our customs. We are making sure that everybody is safe, and that's the safe place that we got to be able to create. But it starts with self. Rage, what's up, sis? That starts within self. And this is where we get misguided at because everybody else tell us their story. And they put the fear within us saying that we can't do these things. Oh no, you're not qualified. You don't got the proper schooling. You don't got the proper education. Oh no, you did X, Y, and Z, but you're still not qualified because you can't tighten up the screw this way. You can't, you don't know how to fix doors. You don't know how to do tiles. I used to hear it all for self, just in the spaces that I occupied. And then I started, you know, hold on, no, nah. Beyond being qualified, I was overqualified because I already done the work, I already done the schooling. And I said, you know what? Why do I gotta be subservient to anybody else? Why I gotta play the backseat role when I'm qualified to do the job? So now I know that I got to I know I can do the job. So now the option is on the table. So stop taking that off the table. I wasn't giving myself that level of authority because I kept listening to what everybody else had to say about me, and I'm so caught up in their mindset of how they felt about me, not feeling that value within oneself. So once I started to validate me, oh, nobody could tell me anything. Not saying that I'm above people. What I'm saying is that anything that's misguided or that's put out there to misguide me, I can have the level of prudence and say, I got enough wisdom to know that right there is bull crap. Because I've seen people like you, I've seen the decision making that you make, and I say this environment right here, it doesn't breed the ground for me for growth and development. This right here is just used to take advantage of because I've seen it over and over and over again. So if I've been seeing it the same exact way, what change am I expecting to happen without nothing changing? So I got to get out that space. I can't think that I'm going to grow in a space or a place that doesn't allow me to grow. I got to grow from within. And then I got to take me no matter where I go and making sure that I'm creating in those same spaces, creating the world that I want to live in, raising my children, raising my love, being with my loved ones, sharing the same business thoughts and ideas of being innovative in these places, just being able to put my mind off, just put my thoughts to the test, just being able to speak freely, you know, being able to just to share the mind with other people that's like-minded. Here, we all like-minded. We all on the same path of doing the same things and continuously growing. So that's why we're able to connect. That's why we're able to hear to listen to one another. We're able here to share our thoughts, share our perspectives, and giving each other insight on how we can make the better decisions for tomorrow and today. I learned so many things today, man, that I feel confident about. Talk to me. Yes, yes.
I know you were in the zone. I'm
Nah,
sorry.
nah, oh, nah, nah. Perfect.
You said something. You said they saw your greatness before you did.
Mm.
People want you to do good, but not better than them.
Oh my
They
God.
saw it in you, but you didn't at that time.
Oh, Ty said they saw your greatness before you saw your greatness. They saw your greatness before you saw your greatness. So what they did was they tried to throw you off track. They tried to slow the process up. They tried to diminish your value, say that you're not worthy of, you're not qualified, you're not good enough. They seen that. So now that you're in that space and you put that option back on the table that you are great, that you are qualified, now can't nobody tell you different because we already made it through the hardest part just coming into the world. We made it through the hardest part. We can't let nobody step over us. We can't let nobody step over us. We are powerful. We are great. We are respected. There's so many great things that we still have to do out there because we are creators. And us being creators, we are designers. Us being designers, we have innovation. We have IP, we have intellectual property. We are us. We are the biggest gifts, like Ty said, that we can give anybody. So you being who you are is already the best gift you can give somebody else, more than the materialistic things. You offering your years of wisdom. You offering your friendship. Your friendship is value. You know how much value of having a loyal friend or being a loyal friend? You know how much value is in you being a loving, loyal companion? You know how much value is being a loving parent? You know how much value is being a loyal child? You know how much value is you being a loyal coworker? You know how much value is in being a loyal business partner? All of these things are valued. All of these things are valued because we living in a world where people do whatever they want, their own discretion, and sometimes those people don't hold the same type of morals and belief systems that you do. So we going into these arenas being at a disadvantage because they play about a different set of rules. So there's a game that's being played out there that these other individuals that love to play. So now what you got to do is say, you know what? Who playing the game that like me, being honorable, being transparent, being open, being honest, being truthful, being diligent in their work, taking their craftsmanship serious, utilizing their leverage to help other people, acts of servitude. Swanee, what's up? What's up, baby girl? Swanee in the building. How can we go out in the world and operate from a perspective of being better when there are other people out there playing a different type of game? So you got to be able to create that ecosystem within your people, having those trusted advisors, trusted people that you can count on. Say, you know what? Now, is this person open and honest with me? What is the pact? What is the oath? How do we get to that place to do that? How do we gain trust with one another? How do we get to a place where we can be open and honest? How can we do that? We got to first start trusting ourselves. So we got to go to that mirror and say, you know what? Did I do the right thing today? Was I open and honest? Was I transparent? Was I open and honest with the people that was open and honest with me? Because that's where it starts. That's how you start to build trust within you, and then start building with people around you that had the same morals and belief systems. And then now you can build up that ecosystem of trusted people that care about one another. There are friends that I have like that are like brothers and sisters to me. I have I have a bunch of people around me that said sentiment or discernment, having discernment. Yep, having levels of discernment. Discernment, powerful. Being able to make that decision, having those levels of discernment. How can you distinguish what is what and who is who? Gotta have levels of discernment. Gotta have levels of discernment. Man, your boy, your boy be going. Have, are we on point today? Let me know. We on point today? If we on point, we get some chimes in there. Absolutely. Let's do a message from the sponsors really quick. Let's go here really quick. Quick message from the sponsors. And we'll be right back at it. Peace, beloveds. Thank you for tuning in to the Respectfully Great podcast. I'm your host, Johnny Reed, and I appreciate your continuous support. Do you know that over 80% of the people that watch our channel aren't subscribed? By subscribing to our channel, you give us the opportunity to bring on more guests to add more value to our channel. To join our growing community, head over to respectfullygreat.com, sign up for our email list to get exclusive updates on empowering blogs, as well as the latest and greatest in Respectfully Great fashion. Once again, it's nothing but big love, and we value your commitment. We are back. That's a word from our sponsors. That cool guy over there, I think his name is like Johnny Reed or something like that. Very, very cool. Go shop at respectfullygreat.com. Go get your latest and greatest in Respectfully Great fashion. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Also, on YouTube right now, I put the video up as unlisted because I'm learning, like I said, as I go. I've been putting it as public, but they say that when you put it as public initially, it doesn't get a chance to render through the system to actually find its correct audience. So today is the first time that I've done it on our 50th episode. How ironic. Done something 50 times, and on the first go round, we're doing something for the first time on the 50th, which is tweaking some things. I think that is great. That is awesome. Also, before we go there, I have to give a big, huge shout out to everybody that's on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, StreamYard, all of these dope platforms. You guys are making this thing um that much greater, that much easier for me, and that much more empowering for me because there's some moments in my days in my life where um there are thoughts that cross my mind to say, where am I? What am I doing? Is this purposeful? Who need to hear this? Do I need to hear this? Initially, it started out with me wanting to talk to self about some of the things that I go through in my life, and not understanding that, man, we all go through the same things, and understanding that now, I'm like, wow. Oh, since we all go through the same things, how do we get through it? How do we all get through it? And if we can share our thoughts and our perspectives behind these things, there's some things that you're going to teach me that I wasn't aware of because I haven't experienced, I haven't gained that level of experience that you have to offer. So I love to listen because there's things that I'm here for the first time that's going to make that much big of a difference to me tomorrow. So when I hear things from Ty of saying, no, get that control back. Oh no, stop being fearful. Who told us that we would fear? Who should we fear? Where does these labels come from? When I hear things like that, I'm like, I've gone through that. I've seen that. Now I'm able to shake that off and say, you know what? Now put that power back in me. Because I understand now from she telling me that the greatest gift I can give somebody else is instilling that power back in oneself. And then now when I go in touch with the other people, when I go connect with the other people, that's the greatest gift I can give them is the best version of me. And that's how we be able to get to those next levels in our lives, being able to impact and be that much greater, and not turning ourselves off for anything that we want to experience. Now we put everything on the table that we want to experience. I think that's the greatness that we all have.
She said, this was great. Keep doing your thing, Sam.
Oh, absolutely. I love you, Ty. Thank you so much. I appreciate your wisdom. I appreciate your energy, your light, and you done so much to allow us to have a great, wonderful episode. Not just the episode, but you gave us some life value to where we be able to change our lives for the better and be able to see this moment and say, you know what, there was a point of time where I felt like I didn't have that strength, and this is going to be a source, a resource that that's always going to live, that's always going to live, that we be able to say, you know what, at this moment right here, this is where you can find strength. That go watch that episode, go connect with Ty because she have some wisdom that she be able to get you through these tough times because her experience allowed her to be qualified to speak about these things. Her experience gave her qualification, her testimony gave her qualification, and the wisdom, because the thing is, she made it out. So a lot of times in the midst of things, we feel like we can't turn to the left, turn to the right. We just feel like we stuck. And you gave us direction on how to get unstuck. You gave us a way to start thinking in ways that will push us to those next levels to say, you know what? I don't have to deal with the crap. Maybe me picking up and moving away, leaving those things, people, places, and things behind in order to move to a different place so I can get to a different place. This was necessary. So people that's afraid of taking that leap of faith and going out and traveling down that lonely road at times, it's like, oh, there's a lot of fear in that. I don't want to be uncomfortable, but knowing that it's a necessary thing in order for us to get to where we need to get to. I think that alone in itself is a teachable moment that we all can cherish with us. And this is always going to be a resource for people to come back and say, you know what? Go check that. Go. Let me. You ever stuck? I got something to get you unstuck. Here it is. And watch this. Listen to this. Listen to these testimonies. Listen to where they have gone. Look at where they have been, and look how they're flourishing now. Look how many other people are listening to the shared wisdom. Look at the impact. Look at the people that are attached to them. Look at the great people that they are attached to, because it's a reflection of what you put out. So we all great because we are great people at heart, and we have done great things in our lives. We have lived our lives and still continuously to live them and learning and growing through the process. But this is what allow us to be the best version of ourselves, being able to have these open forums and these conversations like this, because a lot of times we don't get privy to have them in depth or have the time to put into it the way we doing it on this format, in this format. A lot of times people say, just do the right thing. And you say, tell a person to do the right thing. If they only known how to do the wrong thing, how do you get them to do the right thing? If somebody only knows how to do the wrong thing, how do you get them to do the right thing? And by us having the conversation around it, us being able to detail the experience and the steps to see, you know what? Hey, when I was angry, I had to transfer that anger in another way. Well, how did you transfer it? What did you do in order when you was upset, when you was mad? What did you do? And then you say, okay, let me tell you something positive that I've done. You know what? I got really in tune with the gym or exercising. I found out that me running, jogging, hitting the puncher bag, this is a way for me to take that aggression out in a positive way. Or you could say, you know what? Hey, when I got really, really overwhelmed, I learned how to sit with self and meditate, or I joined a yoga class, or I went for a long walk, or I read some books, or I've done this, or I connected with other people, or I joined a community with people that are doing similar things that I'm doing, or I had this shared experience. So those resources are out there, really? Sometimes it's just not knowing. So now that we are in the know, we are resourceful, and we are the resource in ourselves. We are a resource. And then now we can lead to more resources to help each other get out of some of these situations for the better. And then now when people coming across our paths, we were like, okay, we can see where um the help can be uplifted at. Okay, okay, that right there looks a little bit troubling. I see a personnel, a kid, whoever. Okay, I can uplift their spirit. What's the matter? Why are you upset? Such and such. Okay, we can fix that. Those things can be fixed. And then actually we got the solutions to the problems. We bigger than a problem now. And that's where our gift come from. Because not only our experience is one testimony, but actually having the time and the discipline to actually go through the process to make the change. And it all starts with the mindset. So when we get off the fixed mindset attitude and start saying, okay, let's adopt the philosophy surrounded around a growth mindset. Now, well, okay, what is a growth mindset? How about we start pushing ourselves to do things that make us uncomfortable? And then now we say, okay, there's strength in that. Oh yeah, do you know your brain actually grows when you do difficult tasks? Really? So now we can teach from a space of where we can understand simply, not making it more difficult than what it is. Okay, let's have a better day than we had yesterday. How do we do that? How about we come up with a set of routines every morning to get our day started on the right foot? So every day, connect with something, connect with you, connect with yourself. Wake up every day, tell yourself the affirmations. I am great. I am blessed. I am loved. I am transparent. I'm omnipresent. I am gifted. Money comes to me easily, frequently, and abundantly. We can say these affirmations every day to make sure that we reinstilling that power within oneself. So we can start there. And then before you know, it becomes infectious and it starts to grow, starts to grow. And then now the wonders of the places that you say, you know, I couldn't even see this far because I was such in a dark place. And you said, man, how did I make it out? Because they you started with self, and there was great people that was around you that guided you in the right manner. And then y'all build that ecosystem with one another. And you start building those trusted advisors because you started to trust you. I know what Myron Golden said. He said sometimes it's difficult because we the only people that heard every lie that we told, meaning that every time you told a fable or fib, you heard it. Even if you might have shared it with one person, you may not share the same story with somebody else when you wasn't fully telling the truth. So you felt like you slipped through the cracks. But the one person you can't run from is you. So you heard it all. So sometimes it's hard to break down that wall when you continuously going out there, not fully being transparent. So when you start to be transparent, look yourself in the mirror and say, you know what, let's be open and honest. And once you start to be able to do that, now you're like, ooh, at first it was uncomfortable, but now it becomes the norm. You know what? This isn't so bad. Okay, now I'm not being that hard on myself. I'm able to be a little bit vulnerable because it may take that. It may take you, not being the bravado person all day and I got everything figured out. Nah, it takes a lot to admit that you don't got it all figured out. And I think that's where it shows your level of discernment when you can say, you know what, hey, I don't got it all figured out, but that's okay. I will eventually get it right because now this is the breeding ground for me to grow. Because before there was areas in my life where I wasn't willing to face, I was willing to lie through it. And then once my card, I got unveiled, right, and my card got pulled, Now I have no choice but to stand out, and now I'm like, oh, like I'm naked, like oh. But now it's like, okay, it ain't that bad. I came in the world naked, so all right. Sometimes I got caught with my pants down, but now I'm up. I'm good. Now I could go out there and deal with some level of embarrassment, some vulnerability. Um, it's okay not to have it all figured out. And then once we get past that, now we're like, okay, we can work on self. We can work on those other things, small, taking one step at a time, and look for the big. The big transformation comes from the small habits, every day, routinely. Small habits, every day. No matter what, no matter the conditions, we're going to work through them, and that's where our strength come from. When we able to work through things, no matter the conditions, and that's when we start really making that tremendous impact. Because you're gonna start seeing the change within self. Because things that used to bother you, it's not gonna bother you anymore, or not bother you as much. You're like, small thing to a giant. You know how to move along certain things that disturb your aura. You say, you know what, I could pick myself up. I'm gonna go this way because I need time for me. Because I don't want to get, I don't want that bad omen to attract to me. And now I got that negative energy spewing all over me. Now when I go contact with other people, it's just I don't want to be like that personally. You know? So what I do is I wait, I start simply just waking up and having that routine. And then throughout my day, still work on me, challenging myself, doing the unthinkable, shooting my shot, putting the energy out there, putting it on the table, even though it's a big bone that I got to gnaw on, right? Like Alex Armozy says, he said, man, he just have goals that he set that damn near are unrealistic, but he set them just so that he can have something to strive towards that's greater than everything that he can imagine. And I think that's the beauty within us as human beings, that we can set the template, we can set the table to be like that. We can say, you know what, I'm gonna do the unthinkable. I'm gonna put the unthinkable on the table, and then no matter how far I get, if I fall short, man, I'm gonna do some wonderful things because I feel like I couldn't even get past this point, but you surpass it because you're shooting for the moon. They said you shoot for the moon. If you miss, you still hit those stars, and that's what we start doing in our lives. Things that we thought we couldn't change. We shook it up, and now we haven't changed, and now we making progress. We making progress, man. We're blessed, and every day we shouldn't take it for granted because as soon as we look up, another person, maybe ourselves, whoever, they go. So we really want to, take advantage of the times that we have here with one another and do our part, making sure that we've done our part for the day. And if something were to happen where we not around for tomorrow, what was that last experience like when people came in contact with you? Was it a pleasurable one? And I think that's what we can leave off with. Just making sure that when we come in contact with people, give them the best version of you. Give them the best version of you. So now their memories be great things of how your interaction was when you was with them. And that can be impressionable for years on end, because what you're going to do is you're going to steal something in that person to be great to the next person. And then that person could be great to the next person. And then that person could be great to the next person, because we left on a high. We kept our energy and our frequency up. We didn't do no low vibrational things to tarnish who we are or our name or what we work for, because you came a ways. You came a long ways, and we here together. So it's a testament to how much work that we have put in. And we still have more work to put in, because there's more people that we can impact, and we're gonna be that much greater. We're gonna spread that much more love. We can do that much more acts of servitude. And I don't want you to stop, no matter what the conditions are, because we able to work through all conditions. This has been a wonderful, powerful, powerful episode, which is our 50th. Um, Round of applause, as she says. Yes, yes. So, man, it's been great. Anything um that we said, understand that the intent, as a disclaimer, was not to hurt. It was here to help. Whatever don't apply, let it fly. Right. Ultimately, we are here because we're sharing our sentiment for us to grow and be better people and be able to have that much more impact in our lives and other people's lives. So, the way we do that is by loving ourselves first and being able to share that love amongst the other people. So before we get out of here, make sure that you love yourself first and then be able to build that ecosystem around you by spreading that love, spreading your message, and continuously being in purpose by creating it. So it's been a wonderful, blessed 50th episode of Respectfully Great. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, thumb up the videos, and we'll be back at it next week for the 51st episode. Um, yeah, man, it's been a wonderful one. Everybody, be safe, um, love yourself, and keep creating purpose. Keep creating purpose. Respectfully.